This is Global Currency Insight, and today's story is one that has captured the attention of currency investors across the world. News has been spreading quickly that the Iraqi Dinar and the Vietnamese Dong are now officially live on global exchange platforms, making them more accessible to trade than before. For many people who have been holding on to these currencies for years, this moment feels like a turning point they have been anticipating for a long time. The buzz has been so strong that online communities, discussion boards, and social media feeds are full of excitement and speculation about what this development could mean. Whether you have been invested in these currencies for more than a decade or are only just hearing about them for the first time, the conversation around the dinar and dong has reached new levels. In this video, we are going to walk through what this change actually means, why it is considered significant, and what practical details investors are paying attention to right now. When people say that the exchange rates have gone live worldwide, it signals that these currencies are being recognized and traded more openly in international markets, rather than staying limited to smaller circles or specialized dealers. Until recently, holders of the dinar and dong often faced challenges when trying to exchange or trade them outside of their home countries. Access was narrow, and transactions typically required niche services rather than major financial institutions. With this step toward broader recognition, more banks and exchange services can potentially handle these currencies directly. That creates an environment where activity may increase, making the currencies easier to buy, sell, and trade across different regions. This broader accessibility is what has fueled much of the excitement, as it represents a structural change in how these currencies interact with global systems. For investors who have been patiently waiting, the announcement feels like validation that their patience may be paying off, even if the long-term outcomes are still unknown. The Iraqi dinar has been watched closely for many years because of Iraq's vast oil reserves, which represent one of the most valuable natural resources in the world. Countries with substantial reserves often see their currencies strengthen as global demand for energy influences economic growth. Iraq's journey has been complicated, shaped by conflict, rebuilding efforts, and shifts in governance, all of which have affected the stability of its economy. Many who invested in the dinar believed that as Iraq stabilized and rebuilt its financial systems, the currency would eventually gain stronger footing. That background explains why today's development carries weight for people who have held on to their investments through long stretches of uncertainty. The recognition of the dinar in wider markets does not erase the risks that remain, but it does open doors for easier trading and more transparent valuation on the global stage. The Vietnamese Dong has attracted attention for different reasons. Unlike Iraq's reliance on natural resources, Vietnam's strength lies in its rapid industrial growth and its role as a manufacturing hub in Asia. Over the past decades, Vietnam has steadily expanded its export base, drawing in foreign investment and creating a fast, growing economy. Many investors saw this trajectory as a signal that the dong could appreciate over time, even if progress came in small steps. Vietnam's relationships with major economies, particularly the United States and China, have also factored into how observers view its currency. Strong trade partnerships and consistent export performance can influence demand for the dong internationally. Now that exchange access is expanding, investors who have believed in Vietnam's long-term potential are closely monitoring how the new recognition might shape liquidity and trading activity. For many long-term holders of these currencies, today's news is not just about potential gains, but about endurance. Stories are emerging from people who purchased dinars or dongs 5, 10, or even 15 years ago and have held on to them through countless ups and downs. Their optimism has weathered changes in global markets, shifts in domestic politics, and international events that could have easily altered outcomes. For those individuals, seeing the exchange rates recognized globally feels like a milestone that validates years of patience. While the actual financial outcomes are yet to be seen, the psychological impact of this recognition cannot be understated. It marks a transition from niche speculation into a more visible place in global trading, and for many, that is reason enough to feel that history is unfolding before their eyes. The practical implications are significant. With worldwide recognition, traditional banks and well-known currency exchange services may now begin to offer more direct handling of dinars and dongs. In the past, transactions often required specialized brokers or online services that were not widely accessible. The shift to more conventional channels means transactions could become smoother, records more transparent, and trading more integrated with other parts of the financial system. This wider accessibility can also introduce greater liquidity, making it easier for people to enter or exit positions. At the same time, increased trading activity often brings volatility, as prices adjust to the influence of new participants and market responses. These are natural dynamics in any open market, and those watching closely are aware that values may fluctuate more sharply in the short term as a result of this broader exposure. Different types of investors are responding to the news in different ways. Some who have held these currencies for many years are watching the exchange rates closely, deciding whether to sell portions of their holdings or to continue waiting for potential long-term shifts. Others are considering whether this moment marks an entry point, although the speculative nature of currency markets means outcomes remain unpredictable. Across the board, the key factor is that each investor must evaluate based on their own goals, tolerance for risk, and personal circumstances. There is no single answer to what the right move might be, and reactions range from celebration to cautious observation. What unites all sides is an acknowledgement that something meaningful has changed in how the dinar and dong are treated internationally. Currency speculation has always carried both opportunities and risks, and this situation is no exception. Values can be influenced by an array of factors, including political stability, economic reforms, international trade policies, and global events that extend far beyond the control of any single investor. Iraq's political climate, for example, remains a crucial factor in how the dinar develops in the future. Similarly, Vietnam's ability to sustain its economic growth and manage its role in international trade will shape how the dong evolves. Recognizing these complexities helps explain why no one can predict with certainty where these currencies are headed. The only certainty is that their recognition on global exchange platforms introduces new dynamics that will continue to unfold in the months and years ahead. The story has also underscored the importance of careful decision-making. In moments of heightened excitement, it is easy for emotions to drive actions, especially when stories of potential gains circulate widely online. However, experienced observers often stress the need for clear planning. Having specific goals, keeping accurate transaction records, and monitoring developments without reacting to every short-term change can help investors maintain perspective. This is especially true in foreign exchange markets, where values can rise or fall rapidly in response to both domestic and international developments. Patience and discipline remain central themes, even as the thrill of today's news spreads across the investment community. Another dimension to consider is the role of global economic trends that may influence all currencies, including the dinar and dong. The rise of digital currencies and the exploration of central bank digital projects are reshaping how money moves around the world. International trade patterns are also shifting as countries pursue new agreements and partnerships. These broader trends create an environment where traditional currencies must adapt to new realities. For Iraq and Vietnam, Their places within the global economy will continue to affect demand for their currencies, whether through energy exports, manufacturing output, or international partnerships. Today's news about wider recognition is just one piece in a larger puzzle that involves many interconnected parts. At the same time, observers are reminding people to remain cautious about misinformation. With increased attention often comes the rise of misleading claims or fraudulent schemes. Whenever currencies gain visibility, there can be individuals or groups looking to take advantage of public excitement. This makes it important to verify information and ensure that any financial dealings take place through legitimate, licensed channels. The presence of scams has been a recurring concern in many speculative markets, and the dinar and dong are no exception. Staying alert to this reality is a key part of navigating the current landscape safely. For now, the dominant mood among long-term holders is one of celebration and relief. After years of waiting, the fact that these currencies are officially trading more openly across global markets represents a meaningful step forward. Investors are sharing personal stories of when they first acquired their holdings and the patience it took to keep them through times of uncertainty. The announcement has brought a sense of community among those who believed in this possibility and now see part of their expectations realized. Still, even among the celebratory voices, there is awareness that this is not the end of the story, but rather the beginning of a new chapter in the journey of these currencies. Looking ahead, much will depend on how Iraq and Vietnam continue to position themselves in the global economy. Iraq's management of its oil wealth, its political stability, and its efforts to rebuild institutions will all play roles in the dinar's trajectory. Vietnam's continued industrial expansion, foreign investment policies, and global trade partnerships will shape the dong's future. These factors, along with international developments beyond their borders, will determine how these currencies are perceived and used in the years to come. What is clear now is that both have moved into a more visible position in the international marketplace. Know enough where their performance can be observed more transparently and traded more widely. For viewers who have followed the story from the beginning, this moment represents an opportunity to reflect on the long arc of speculation, patience, and global economic change. The recognition of the Iraqi dinar and Vietnamese dong in wider markets may not answer every question or guarantee any outcome, but it does mark a tangible shift in how these currencies are treated. It also serves as a reminder of how interconnected the global financial system has become, where changes in one country's currency can ripple outward across borders and influence international discussions. That interconnectedness is part of what makes stories like this one both complex and fascinating. And so, the news of the dinar and dong going live across global markets will likely continue to spark conversation, debate, and analysis in the weeks ahead. Investors will be watching closely, weighing their options, and sharing their perspectives on what comes next. While no one can predict the future, the present moment is undeniably historic for those who have been waiting, watching, and hoping for years. The excitement is real, the implications are significant, and the story is still unfolding. This has been Global Currency Insight, bringing you the latest on the developments that shape conversations around the world.